Hi, if you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much and welcome. And just imagine that I'm giving you a virtual hug right now as a welcome. But if you're on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, yes, you are having my hug. Okay, you can call me Han, just my real name, but you can also know me as an empath because this series is about me as an empath. Think, feel, and share about things, those simple things that can give you, a dose of love, peace, and abundance. So grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee because this talk can be, a discussion to start your day or to end your day with soothing and calming vibe. So the topic today is about numbers. Well, it's not that weird. Like at first you're gonna see this topic as some strange thing, like why numbers? But it's not gonna be some complicated numbers like maths or physics or whatever that hard. I suck at that, so I would never mention about that. But it's not numerology also. We can talk about that later. But today is going to be simple. I love working, we're talking, mentioning, discussing about simple things, those things that we usually forget. So it's going to be numbers that are surrounding you, that stick to you to move forward. And the funny thing is we always have numbers around us, even those simplest one. And just looking back, when you were born, you are sticked with your weight. Like, this baby were born with blah, blah, blah kilograms. So that's going to be your first numbers. And when you grow up a little bit, it's going to be, height and weight and only those two. That's going to be as simple as that. But when you grow up a little bit more, it's going to be 10 years or 12 years that you attend to school. You are studying from primary to high school. You're going to have scores. Yeah. This is going to be the main numbers that you get for 10 years. That's fun because that's so long. But yes, that's going to be scores, school grades, or if you're better, you have rankings. Well, rankings like top 5, top 10, or if you're even better, you're gonna have competition, contest. And the weird thing is that at that point you feel already too overwhelmed by all of those numbers around you. You feel like, why do people always judge you guys through numbers? You feel so unfair. But I think at least at that time, when you're a teenager, when you're a little bit younger, you can express your emotions more intensively. And actually it's good. It's good because you can feel. And it's not something that you would, commit to it. You would not feel good about it. You express your emotions positively or negatively because you feel it. But just start thinking about when you go to university, when you attend to university and you choose some different majors. You're going to be taught about KPIs. Like everyone knows about KPIs, like key performance indicators. And it appears in every field, in every majors. Like I talked to the technology guy and yes, he has his own. If you talk about marketing, yes, digital marketing has so much. Or finance, yeah, that's a whole bunch of numbers. Finance, economy, or something like that. That numbers are all around us. And to get the desired grade in university, you have to solve those KPIs. That's funny. So you have more type of numbers when you go to university, but real shit gonna happen when you start working. Well, it's not about grade anymore. You don't feel the pressure like um, overwhelmed or something. At that point, when you grow up, you feel stressed out, but you're numb with all kind of numbers. It's not going to be grade. It's going to be wage, your income, the numbers of your income. And in order to get the income, the desired income, you have to solve the KPIs at work. That's frustrating somehow. But at that point, you're numb already and you feel like, yeah, that's adult life. That's okay. That's life. It's life. It happens. But I don't think having so many kind of numbers can give you a fulfilling life. It's just you commit and you accept that. You accept that those things can give you stress. But instead, you can choose. Well, I don't say that I hate numbers because honestly, numbers were born even before letters. So, numbers are divine knowledge from the universe. We all know that. But the point is, numbers were born for us to, manage and arrange our life. But have you ever feel like when you have so many type of numbers like that, you feel even more frustrated. You feel more messed up rather than more tidy in your life. So now we see that we are talking about goals, the numbers of goals, because usually we want to have a detailed goals. We want to move forward. We want to have it precise. But yeah, do we have to carry on all kind of goals at the same time? And what I learned in communication plan, yes, we can have, some type of numbers going together, but we can't have those kind of different numbers at the same time. You can't want to have sales at the same time have awareness. You need to have awareness first and then have sales. Or yes, you can have sales, but not that much because you need to focus on the awareness. So what I do when I see the overwhelming how numbers give to me, how standards, how goals give to me, what I do is just decrease the type of numbers in my life. And the way I do is to put them into a priority list. So for example, back then I was really focusing on my work. I work so much. I work 14, 15 hours. And I still go to gym. I still went to gym, but I can't lose weight. I know at that time I wanted to lose weight. But what do I want to focus more at that time? What do I want to strive more? So I can't tell myself that, okay, you need to lose 5 kilograms at the time you work 15 hours. Because honestly, you can't. Your lack of sleep, you're stressed out, you have networking outside. So those two goals, those two numbers can be put together while I still have so much, shaming from my body that you should lose weight, you should blah 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 blah. When I go to gym, there are so many people they said like, you have to do this, you have to do that at this time. But if I don't set the priority list, if I don't set those numbers into order, I think I can't keep my mind clear with my goals. I can feel insecure with that. I can feel like, oh my gosh, I need to lose weight, but I have to work 14 or 15 hours. I just can't do it. How do I do it? And the more you think about that, the more frustrated you get. That's a funny thing. The more you feed in with the negative thoughts, the more you messed up. The more you give in the overwhelming numbers, the more you give up. So what I did is that I know I wanted to give the work and my ambitions to finish first. It's not like finish, but I want to have at least something at this point. And then after that, after a few months, after a month, after maybe a year, for example, you can switch to the lose weight parts. And how can I do that? Because usually you will feel like you're missing out. You feel like, why am I feel so weak? How can't I do everything at the same time? But what I do is I know life is a cycle. I will mention about it so much. Life is a cycle. A cycle can be a week, a day, a month, a few months, or a year. And at the point when you feel messed up, at the point when you feel lost, at the point when you want to do something else, not doing the thing that you have right now, is the ending part. Okay, I want to keep this simple, just like this. When you play guitar, you like guitar, but after 5 months, you don't like it anymore. It's not like you hate it, but you just don't want that and you want to try another thing. So the point when you don't like guitar anymore might be the time that the cycles end, to come to the new cycle when you discover new things. So I accept that I can't do everything at the same time because I have those cycles in my life. And when I write them down, when I know that I don't want this anymore, I don't want the thing I'm doing anymore, it means that, yes, I'm ready to step to another cycles. So I split those numbers up. I divide them. I allocate them into different parts, different cycles in my life to feel less stressed out. But the point is, sometimes when we talk to people, they will put standards on us. So when you already put a priority list, or when you already know what the numbers you should put on your body and your mind at that time, you know that whatever you say, I know I appreciate what you said, but I will do it later on. And I know my timing. And that's a way to keep you stand still with what you want to do. So that's the first thing I did. You can't carry a basket of numbers every day and every time. But it doesn't mean that you can do things, some things, so many things at the same time. You can. But instead of decreasing the amount of numbers you carry on, I would lower down the numbers. Like, I work 15 hours. Well, maybe it's not efficient. I would lower it down to 12 hours with the best productivity, and then I still lose weight, but I only set the goals like, okay, 1 kilogram, or even not, but I will live healthily. So that's the way of putting down and letting go those numbers. And the time when you're willing to drop and to let go of those numbers, when you willing to balance your life, is the time that you already know what you want. Because when you think, you may know that you still have some priority, but you want to balance. You listen to your body. Yes, I want this both, but I can put much pressure on me until I can't do anything, until I messed up, until I just listen to people's standard but cannot do anything on my own. And when you are willing to listen to your body and tell you that, okay, I want both, but I will decrease just a little bit to adjust, to make them have some commitment, the losing weight or living healthily, and then the working part can commit together, can listen and understand each other. Just think of them like two people. And it's easier because, for example, the financial part is really important in our adulthood. But then you gain more property, but you feel like it's really hard to maintain the happiness, the fulfillment, or you feel like you just can't manage everything, or you just can't afford. Like, you can't have goals to buy a lot of designer bags while still wanting to have a house. I mean, except you are rich, except you have a lot of money already. But if you're setting goals, if you're on the go, it seems invisible for me, because you can't allocate everything like that with no balance. So if you do two methods that I mentioned, yes, maybe you can put aside your designer bags interest into a stability with a house that you also want, or vice versa. And when you're really willing to set aside something or lower things down to balance your life, it means that you already stick to what you want. And at that time, you feel like, yes, no kind of standards or no kind of judgment or shame can give you a second thoughts, because you know what you want already. And some people, you have to manage the amount, the numbers of your wage, your income, your assets, your properties. But you also have the curiosity or envy to know the others also. But I recommend not to know, because at the same time, you are making those strange numbers, those strangers joining into the group of numbers you're having, and you feel more negative, frustrated, messed up, because you feel the jealousy, you feel the envy, you feel the weakness inside you, while you can't focus on what you're doing. So see, having a lot of numbers sometimes can give you distraction. So don't give a damn about how things are going to other people. Just focus on your number, the number that you need to hold at that time. Not every, but focus on yours, not others. Live the best, make the best to that kind of numbers, and then switch to make another things better. Rather than sitting here, see that, wow, there are just so many things I need to care about, and then I don't think I can do it. I feel, well, it's too hard. Or you feel, maybe I can't do anything. And that's hard. That's bad. When you have a lot of goals, numbers, standards, everything surrounding you, but you just can't do anything. Rather than that, just focus on things that matters. If you focus on work, yes, solve those KPIs. Make the best. Try to be a best employee or something. But when you feel like, yes, my health is going to be the priority, then you can lower down the clients you have. Then you can lower down, the expectation that your boss has on you, because you give him the vibe that now I will focus on another thing. I will still be dedicated to the work and the company, but I will still focus on my life. But he knows that you wouldn't settle down for something crossing your boundaries, because you have one number to focus on. So actually the title can be a little bit weird, but I hope that you guys can have some, talk about your lives. This is just, a reminder, a daily reminder, weekly reminder, or something in your life that we can mention about to keep you move forward. And I hope that I can give you some, fun talk or calming vibe. So that's about the topic this week. That's about the podcast this week. And I hope you enjoy. So we'll see each other later on. Bye.